morning. Everybody is lovely to see you. A bit murky today, isn't it? But never mind, we've had a good run of the weather and it's good for the plants, isn't it? So I thought this morning, let's start with a little game of Hangman. Do you know how to play Hangman? So we've got, I'm going to have my able assistant help me. So this is my word that I want you to guess. So good morning to the house. Now, if you want to help me with Hangman, you can write maybe some comments in the comments section to see which letters you want to go with. But we are going to start, first of all, right, so my able assistants, I've got Holly and Gethin here. First of all, give me a letter and we'll see whether it's in Hangman.
E.
Okay, there is no E in this one. I've got an A from the house. Well done. Okay, there is an A. This is when I'm going to just have to remind myself about my spelling. There is one A there and one A here. Right, two A's in that one. Okay, Gethin, do you want to give me a letter?
M.
M?
Yeah, I don't like the vowels, even though you know you should do it.
There's no M. And in fact, I forgot to start drawing my Hangman, didn't I? Right, so we've got no M. We've got an S from the house. And yes, there is an S. Okay, right. Holly, do you want to give me a letter? An I. There is no I. Gethin, do you want to give me one? And anyone else watching can write a comment for a letter they want. Gethin, give me a letter.
D.
D. There is a D. The cat's not helping. Right, there's a D. There, we've got a U request from the house. There is no U. Oh, the cat. Ignore the cat. He can't join in. Right, okay. Holly, do you want to give me a letter?
O.
Oh. There is no O. Getting close. Right, has the house got another letter? Or Gethin, do you want to give me another letter?
J.
J? No J. And the house have given us a T. There is no T. Oh, I think I'm going to win this one. Right, Holly?
B.
B. No, there is no B. Getting very close. Gethin?
Me? H.
H. There is a H. Oh, an F from the house. There is no F. Right, we're going to go with one leg. Hang on, I'm going to scroll down for more comment. There we go. Holly?
No, wait. C.
C, there is a C. Yeah, oh, just one letter left to go.
Shad.
What do you think, Gethin? What do you think it could be?
Ah.
Ah, well done, it is.
Shadrach.
And so that was my first one. Shadrach. So Shadrach is a character in the Bible. Now, you've got Hangman is a great to do with Bible character names because they're really odd and weird and long. And I could do a few more for you, but we've got quite a lot to do. So at the end, we're going to find out who these people would have been as well to go with Shadrach. We'll just see what we've got. Okay, but first of all, a little bit of a science experiment. It's going to go terribly wrong, potentially, so I'm going to move anything valuable out of the way. Trying to do live science is just crazy, especially when you've never done one. Okay, first one. Right, I'm going to bring up my bowl. Okay, so I have got, and you can try these at home. This one is a bag, freezer bag, full of water. Now, what I really wanted was one of the ones with the zippy pockets, but I didn't have any, so I've just had to make do with this. So normal, just freezer bag full of water. Now what would happen if I took a pencil and put it through my bag? Do you think it would like make a terrible mess? Go pop? I'm slightly concerned about my computer being quite so close here. Let's give it a go. Because I think, that might work. Okay, right, here we go. I'm slightly concerned that my bag is dripping, but right, okay. Okay. Ooh, look, can you see pencil going through, and I get it over to the other side, and it came all the way out the other side. A bit, I know it's gone a bit wonky there, not wonky, but the light is distorted, but it has gone all the way through. My bag is slightly big because it was a bigger bag than I wanted to use. So let's try again, another one. Ooh, okay. Goes through. Not quite doing. I was convinced when I heard about this that this would cause the water to spew out of my bag. I'm going to try one more. Oh, this is getting very heavy. Right, let's try down the bottom. Does that make any difference? And come out up here.
Oh,
a little bit. That one leaking a little bit. Right. Okay, so little experiment there. You can try that one at home. Can you put, here's a bag of water without the water coming through? I know that doesn't look so clear on that on the screen, but I have got I have got my pencils going through without the whole thing collapsing, which is good. Right, and of course, what happens if I do take that? Just to prove that it okay, that's what happens. Right, I got rid of the cat. Okay. Right, first experiment. Right. Oh, okay. Second experiment. Let's see what happens. Laptop only slightly wet. We're okay. Right. Now, if you happen to have one of these barbecue skewers at home, you can try this next one. Everything's gone a bit wet around here. Okay. Now, what you need to do, and now I've never tried this one. I've got a bit of oil. Now, my oil got wet. I'm hoping this will still work. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil. In fact, I might get just a bit of fresh oil just to make sure that this one really does work. Hopefully. Okay. But just normal oil. Just going to put a little bit in a thing there. And I'm going to just put it along my not cocktail stick, what's this called? Barbecue skewer. Oh, now, my balloon, it just fell on the floor. So, what would happen now if I put this skewer through the balloon? I'm fully expecting it to pop, but someone has told me it won't. So, let's see. Key thing apparently is do this at the bottom. Now, if this goes to pop, you know. Oh, the tension. Oh, right, okay. Well, it didn't go totally pop. Let's see. Oh, okay, it did go pop. Right, you can try that one at home. Imagine that, well, I got the first bit through without it going pop, didn't it? Okay. So the point of that is what I'm trying to show you is it's a little bit like an invisible kind of protection where we expect something to go disastrously wrong. And actually there's a sort of a protective layer somewhere, isn't there, that's keeping things in place. And then we go back to our Hangman game of Shadrach. Now, who was Shadrach? Well, Shadrach had two friends called Meshach and Abednego. And they lived hundreds, thousands of years ago. And they were living in a land with a king called King Nebuchadnezzar. And King Nebuchadnezzar was, he was into anything really that was popular. And that included who he wanted to worship. And he built a great big statue, massive gold thing. And he said, right, everyone, from now on, we're going to bow down and worship this wonderful statue that I've made. It was huge. Now, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego believed in God. And they knew that God had told them, worship no God but me. That was one of the commandments they'd been given, worship no God but me. So they decided, no, we're not going to do that. But you know what? Nebuchadnezzar said, If anyone doesn't do it, then I am going to put them in the fiery furnace. So can you imagine being under that sort of pressure to do something which you know inside is wrong, but the consequence of not doing it is really quite serious? But they had a faith and a belief in God. So what did they do? Well, they refused to bow down. And when Nebuchadnezzar heard this, he was furious, really furious. He couldn't believe that anyone was going to defy him. And so he took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and threw them into a fiery furnace. And he was so mad, he said, turn it up 7 times hotter than normal. Now, what would you expect to happen when they turn that furnace on to poor old Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Well, a bit like what we expect when you put sharp objects into bags of water and air, you expect bad things to happen and it to go pop. But they weren't alone. Because they'd been so faithful to God, God sent an angel into with them. So when the furnace went on, they were just walking around in the flames, in the smoke, but not just 3 of them. There were 4 of them in there. An extra person who we don't know who it was, but obviously sent from God. And they weren't being affected by the flames. They weren't doing that big drama that we would expect, like when we put our pens through our water bag. They were being protected. There was this sort of invisible protection. Now, Nebuchadnezzar looked in and he could see the 4th person, but I don't imagine Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego probably could, because with all the smoke and the flame, I'm sure they were just concentrating on themselves and they weren't aware. But Nebuchadnezzar realized, hang on, there is something very special about what's going on here. So he ordered the furnace to be turned off. And then basically, this changed his mind for a while. He was like, this is the God that we must serve, because he recognized this amazing event that had occurred, a miracle really, of these men being saved. So that is my story for today. Obviously, we're not going to be put in such extreme conditions as that and be put to the test like that. But sometimes you're going to be put to a test in just small ways. You know, maybe there's a bit of fun and banter going on at school that just crosses the line. It starts to become a bit of bullying maybe, and people are being teased, that sort of thing. You know, that's when it's up to you. Can you take a stand and stand up for what is the right thing to do, even if it might feel a bit uncomfortable to do that because you kind of don't really want to stand out? That is the sort of courage that God wants us to have, to do the right thing. And just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stuck and did the right thing, he will send protection for us to help us in those difficult times. So if you take that first step, do the right thing, and God will give you that courage and that just extra invisible layer of protection. So perhaps you can have a little bit of science fun today. So remember the key to this one with the balloon: sharp stick, little bit of oil, go in at the bottom where the thickest bit of rubber is. Don't know how to get it to work in the top. And with a plastic bag, sharp pencils full of water, zippy bag, smaller bag than I was using, and have some fun. And then hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. So stay safe, everybody. Play a bit of Hangman as well.